And
Lieutenant T.J. Smith.
and Mr. Smith, LT, tell me what's going on today.
All right, about 1:30 this morning, our officers from the Northern District responded here to the area of the 1100 block of Armistead Road in Glen Burnie. Upon their arrival, it was for a shots fired call. Upon their arrival, they entered the house. They ended up finding 3 people that were deceased inside the house. 1 female victim and 2 male victims. We were able to quickly determine that this was a domestic-related murder-suicide. There's no public threat in this area. We don't have any outstanding suspects. We don't have any concerns for public safety at this point, and that's important to point out. But this is an absolute tragedy nonetheless. 2 young people in their 20s were the victims of this, and a male suspect that was in his 30s is the a shooter, and he committed suicide after this event.
Can you tell us anything about the 2 individuals or how they were all related?
Yes, further investigation revealed that the suspect, the 37-year-old male, was in fact a Baltimore City police officer, and the victim, the 27-year-old male, was in fact a Baltimore City firefighter. Again, that relationship, I believe, is secondary to the tragedy that took place here. Commissioner Batts and Police Chief Kevin Davis both came out to the scene early this morning. Again, they wanted to make sure that the partners of these 2 men were notified, and they weren't notified through the media, so we were able to make sure that they were notified, and of course next of kin, which is most important in this tragic situation. Since then, we've been able to identify the male victim as 27-year-old Andrew Scott Hoffman. The female victim was Marie Leanne Edith Hartman, 26, and the male victim or suspect was identified as Christopher Lee Robinson, 37. And again, it's an absolute tragedy to wake up to on a Sunday morning. Our Northern District Police officers have been out in the community. We've been canvassing, going door to door, letting some of the residents know that what occurred overnight, but they can go about their daily business and not worry that there's any type of threat in their community. It's a shock to the community, though.
I know it's early in your investigation. Could you determine whether he used his service revolver or any other type of weapon?
It was a gun, but I can't determine at this point that it was the service weapon, but a gun was used in this.
Do you know what positions they held in the fire department and the police department?
No, sir. Don't know exactly what positions they held.
Whose home was this?
Now, I believe this is going to be the victim, Andrew Hoffman's home.
So it was the guy's house.
Yes.
And do we know what led up to the shooting?
No, we don't. We're trying to determine that. Our investigators are still working this case, regardless of the tragic outcome here. They're still working the case right now to determine what occurred that led to this situation happening like this.